So picture this, you just joined a new team, you've got access to their e-commerce project, and you're staring at the screen thinking, what exactly am I looking at here? Where do I even start? Why are there so many folders with names like MISC or Temp Final V2? If you've ever been the new person trying to decode someone else's project setup, this video is for you. And let's face it, we've all opened a project folder and found a file named Entitled1 sitting next to a actually finalized version. Today, we're diving into our e-commerce demo project from a completely fresh perspective. Like I just got access and have absolutely no idea what's going on. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to navigate a new project and get up to speed without having to ask your teammates. So what does this thing actually do? Let's figure this out together with our Keboola MCP. Let's dive in. All right, so I'm starting off inside of Claude here, and I just want to note that this works in Claude, this works in Cursor. We have a chat interface inside of Keboola that's coming out very, very soon as well. So a lot of interfaces for this. Claude's just one of them. I just like the look of Claude in the video, so we're working with that, but this does work in different places. And if you're curious how to set this thing up in Claude or Cursor or so on and so forth, we do have some videos for that as well. Check out those in the description to let you know how to get started with the MCP server inside of Claude and Cursor. Anyways, let's jump in here. So let's ask Claude, like, hey Claude, can you see the Keboola MCP server set up? So we just say like, hey, I'm brand new. Like, let's just see if this thing's even set up correctly. And so you can see Claude's like, yes, I can see that you have the MCP server set up, and it tells you a bunch of things that it can do. Another way to look and see is that if we click the plus sign, so yeah, you can see that there's a lot of things that it can do with components, data management, transformations, flows, data apps, jobs and monitoring, so on and so forth here. We're going to have information about all this stuff coming out in video form, but what we're focused on now is you're a brand new member of this team. We want to know what's going on in the data. So let's ask Claude, can you give me an overview of what's going on in our data? Okay, so just see what Claude says here. Well, give an overview of what's going on in the data. It's pretty open-ended, so it could go in a bunch of different ways. It's obvious, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'll help you get an overview of what's happening in your Keboola project. Let me gather information about your data structure, recent activity, and current setup. So, and then sometimes it's going to ask us whether it should use a tool or not. Obviously, we're going to say yes. And so if this is your first time using an MCP, which it was for me as well, what you're going to see here in Claude, it's different than what you usually see if you're working with Claude or a ChatGPT, is that you kind of have these jobs or these tools that pop up. So get project info. You can see there's what's actually being sent there, or same thing for like list our buckets. That's telling it what data buckets that we have, or list the jobs. So these are the jobs that have ran, or the config. So that's the configurations that we have set up inside of our project. So each one of these tools is just going through and actually looking to see what's going on, right? Which I think is really, really cool. So it's giving us an overview of our project here. So it's that L2 e-commerce analytics. So this is just a demo project that we have set up. This would work exactly the same in one of your production setups as well. And so you see project summary, project name, our SQL backend Snowflake. There's our data volume. We see that it's active with daily data refreshes. You can see here's our sources, so Shopify and WooCommerce. We have external data, so we have a tariff database, which we did a webinar on. If you want to check that out as well, so check it out on our channel. We have Google Sheets and logistics operations, which is a MySQL database. Then we have information about our data architecture, about what's inputted, jobs, so on and so forth. A lot of information here. So that's really great. And of course, here's some dashboard links as well if you want to look at some dashboards. So a lot of information here. But let's say that I work specifically for like the sales team, and I want to like just look and see, like it told us that we have Shopify and WooCommerce data, right? So let's say I just want to see what's going on with Shopify. So I'm gonna tell Claude, like, thanks for all that information. I'd like to focus specifically on what data we have from Shopify. Almost said Spotify. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just have music on my mind. But anyway, so okay. So now it's going to actually go through and take a look and see what's going on in the Shopify table. So it's going to break down the information for us. So for us, it looked at the tables first, and now it's getting those tables to see what's actually going on in there, right? So checking out that data that you have inside of Keboola. So now it's looking at some sample data and key metrics from your Shopify to understand what you're working with. So again, just kind of going through. So these are the things that you would do as an individual if you just kind of had to click through all this data one by one. And maybe you haven't had to do that in your career. Unfortunately, I definitely have, and had to click through all these individual tables and all the things that we have, and that takes forever. So you can see the MCP server is kind of doing that like legwork for you, and it's going to give us some information afterwards here. So you can see it's querying a lot of data. There's that SQL query that's actually running. So if you wanted to run that on your end, you definitely could. And you can see there's a few queries running here. So we're going to let those things finish up, and then Claude's going to give us some information about what's going on with our Shopify data here, which is really great. And you can see it's even getting some more tables. So it's going through a lot of stuff here. And obviously it takes Claude. We're getting a solution here, but it takes Claude a few seconds, few minutes to do this, depending on how big your data is. But it's still a fraction of the time it would take you to do all this on your own, which is great. So, okay, so we can see we have a comprehensive Shopify data set with 16 tables. And so we can see we have that many orders from that many customers. There's our revenue, average order value, active products from vendors and product types. There's the data spans for the 6+ months. It's giving us a product catalog, so it's telling us our top brands, which our data is a toy shop, which checks out for me as an employee. But it's like Matchbox, Barbie, Nickelodeon, Disney, Star Wars, checks out there. 4 product categories with brand diversity, all of our active products there. We have revenue trends, so you can see kind of, August was our peak month of revenue, which you can see based on that. You can see that 90% of our orders are paid and fulfilled. And then it even gives us our data structure here, which I think is really great. So 16 tables are available. There's our 4 core sales data, so order, line item, customer, transaction. It even tells us what's in those tables, which is great. We have product and inventory, so basically we have our product variant, inventory items, inventory levels, so on and so forth. I'm not going to read through all these, but you can see it gives us all the information for that, which is wonderful. Fulfillment and shipping, that's great. Promotions and discounts, also great. Technical details gives us, it tells us that we have incremental updates, tells us the API version, when it's automatically refreshed. All the data types are stored as a varchar, which is good to know. So anyways, good stuff here, right? And it gives us some next step to dive into some specific metrics, create new transformations, so on and so forth. We're not doing any of that in this video, but I do want to dive into the data a little bit more. So let's say I want to come up here for our brands, and let's say I want to look and see, kind of just dig into the data a little bit more and say, can you give me a list of items that are part of the brand Disney? Okay, so basically I'm going to ask it to dig in just a little bit more. So just let me know just what the Disney branded items are. So again, this is all data that you could explore on your own, of course, with SQL queries or maybe Python or whatever you want to do there. But this does it for you, which is great. So you can see that it says we have 60 Disney products, which matches up what we had before, all focused on Disney Pixar cars. So here's a complete list organized by the product category. So we have our Super Suspension Ramon vehicle, Deluxe Cars 3 Mac vehicle. Let's see, we have a Mater diecast vehicle. We have a playset and track sets, so on and so forth here. And then mini racers. So breaking down all the information, that's great. So you didn't have to actually go do that on your own. All this is done with natural language. I bet you didn't think that you were going to get some Disney cars products when you opened this video today, so you're welcome for that. But hopefully what we showed you today with the MCP is that without having any sort of SQL knowledge, without having to dig into any databases, opening up Snowflake or Redshift or BigQuery or anything like that, you can get a nice view of what's going on with your data and get a nice walkthrough of what's available, which will allow you to get started much more quickly whenever you're working on a new job, or maybe you changed roles in a job or something like that. It's going to let you get up to speed much, much quicker than you would before, which is the power of the Keboola MCP. And there you have it, from confused new team member to actually understanding what's going on in this project. Pretty satisfying, right? Now, if you find yourself nodding along thinking, yeah, I've been there, or if this helped you figure out your own mystery project, hit the like button. And honestly, we've barely scratched the surface of what the Keboola MCP can do. There's a whole world of data pipelines, transformations, and integrations waiting to be explored, some of which will probably make you go, wait, it can do that? So if you want to see more of these deep dives and discover what else this platform has up its sleeve, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Trust me, your future self will thank you when you're not the confused new person anymore. See you in the next one.